俺の前から世界一が消えた。
Today we're diving headfirst into the best anime series on Netflix as of this year. It's almost been a year since I did the top 10 list for Netflix, although that list of course will be updated here because not everything on that list still exists on Netflix. These anime have captured hearts, sparked debates, and taken us on a roller coaster of emotions. But remember, this list will be specific to where I'm from since it would take forever to get through every region of the world when it comes to Netflix. So if your favorite anime isn't on this list, remember, it's just probably not available in North America. Or maybe think about how this video is clearly based on opinion, so maybe my opinion is simply different than yours, and that's alright. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Number 15, Magi. Welcome to a realm where adventure, magic, and a dash of Arabian Nights flair collide into this spellbinding anime, Magi. We start off following a boy named Aladdin, but no, he's not the same Aladdin as the Disney movie. I know that name clearly makes us think of that, but that name existed before that movie. Anyway, he's a magical kid though. In this universe, mysterious dungeons filled with mysterious rewards, unimaginable challenges exist hidden across the land, waiting for whoever is brave or maybe lost enough to conquer these places. Aladdin does kind of have a genie. He's got superpowers when it comes to a flute and an infectious sense of wonder. Aladdin embarks on a journey of epic proportions, unraveling the secrets of the world and uncovering the ancient power of the Ruh. Yeah, get used to hearing that word, Ruh. It's a mystical force that binds all living things in this show, but Aladdin's not the only one in the spotlight in this anime. Ali Baba is pretty much the real main character and gets into a bunch of anime-styled awkwardness, while I guess still being cool. I do like him a lot. Teaming up with Aladdin, the duo navigates dungeons, confront mythical creatures, and face off against power-hungry villains who'd sell their magic carpets for a taste of ultimate power. Yet there's more to Magi than just fantastical adventures and flashy spells. This show gets into things like loyalty, slavery, relationships, but man, I do like those fights. Some pretty nice anime fights. Number 14, Vinland Saga. This show, believe it or not, used to be an Amazon exclusive, and I personally thought that damaged its popularity from the start, but it's on more platforms now, including Netflix. This anime brings us to the world of Vikings and to the story of a boy named Thorfinn, who lives as a Viking solely to get his chance at revenge one day. That's honestly his whole purpose in life and what drives him forward into battle. And because of that, this kid turns into a killing machine who slaughters a lot of other warriors and really just people. But Vinland Saga isn't just about battles and blades. It delves into the very essence of humanity, exploring the themes of identity, morality, and the unbreakable bonds forged amidst the chaos of war. As characters evolve and destinies intertwine between the characters, the narrative unfolds pretty nicely. The show gives pretty much a visual feast where every strike or sword, every gust of wind, and every dramatic pause is meticulously crafted to immerse you in the visual world of Vinland Saga. So whether you're into history or just action or stories in general, Vinland Saga is probably something that you could get into. Number 13, The Promised Neverland. Season 2 of this anime may have gotten fans mad with it rushing the ending of the series, but Season 1, which is the only season on Netflix on its own, is such a good story that will most likely cause you to be unable to not binge the show in a single day. A bunch of children of a bunch of ages all living in a single house with a single caregiver, and none of them actually know why they're kept there or where they go when they're quote unquote getting adopted. The smarter the characters are, the longer they're allowed to stay immature. Ray, Norman, and Emma, the three smartest children, discover more and more about where they live and how scary their futures are, and they plan a way to escape with every single child. Watching the points of view between the genius emotional thinker Emma, the completely logical thinker Ray, and Norman, who is in between, is pretty awesome when you keep on wanting to know more of what exactly is happening in this place and what's going to happen next, and if they'll even be able to actually fulfill their plans.
はい、俺の勝ち。
Number 12, One Punch Man. If you don't know this, I guess I'll tell you, but this anime is pretty popular. It's about a guy named Saitama who decided to become a hero for the fun of it. The twist, yeah, he's so ridiculously strong that he can knock out anyone, well, with obviously just one punch. I mean, he's got a workout regimen that's simpler than making toast. Ever seen a hero so bored with winning that he starts missing the thrill of a good fight? Yeah, that's our guy. But don't think of this show as a one-trick pony, because we've got a parade of monsters, mutants, megalomaniacs, all trying to mess up the city. And Saitama's sidekick, Genos, an enthusiastic cyborg who brings a touch of seriousness to the show. Together, they're like the odd couple dream team fighting crime with style. So this show is a satirical spectacle that pokes fun at superhero tropes, society's obsessions, and the complexities of being too powerful for your own good. And well, it makes me laugh anyway. Sirius the Jaeger. Vampires are considered the most powerful type of person next to people of Sirius, which challenge vampires for that title of being the most powerful. The main character is a Sirius, but is also adopted as a child by a Jaeger, which means a guy who tracks down and hunts vampires. These vampires are actually pretty cool, not like those cheesy chick flick vampire shows aimed at an audience of middle school girls. Every single character in the show is a likable character, and it's a pretty enjoyable show, and you just really feel for this story, especially with the kind of twist when it comes to a relatable character to the main character. Check it out.
You four-eyed mole face! Who are you calling a four-eyed mole face? Shut up! I don't give a damn how hungry you were! In this house, there's things you never do!
10. Blue Exorcist. There's a teenager named Rin Okumura who was raised by a priest in a church and one day ends up in a situation where another boy is possessed by a demon, and the effect leaves him with the ability to see the spiritual realm of the world. He ends up in an academy where he's trained to fight demons, where his twin brother is actually the teacher, and he got his ability to see the spiritual realm by coming into contact with Rin, who turns out carries the genes of their devil father. Carrying these genes gives him blue flames and transformations to use to exorcise demons, and that's where you get the name Blue Exorcist. I'd say this anime is so underrated. You like the characters, feel for the story, especially the ending of season 1, and you just want things to keep on going. It's super interesting of a world. If you like anime like My Hero Academia, you'll probably like this one.
Guy, why? Kill.
9. Sword Guy. Sword Guy is one of those anime where you really feel like you're watching an anime, and that might sound confusing, but what I'm saying is it gives off that tone that Western animation doesn't really do. But in the anime, there are what they call cursed weaponry, and what that basically means is there are weapons possessed by demons. Shout out to Asa, Sword from Black Clover. But in Sword Guy, these weapons allow you to transform into something called a Busoma, which kind of looks like a mech, but it's not. The thing is, the demon inside your weapon is really going to want you to kill people and is going to make you become insanely bloodthirsty, and eventually the demon will just take over your body. But there's a company called the Shoshidai who allow you to slow down that process so you have more time in your life before you get possessed. The catch is you basically become a mercenary for them, and also in order to slow down the process, they put you to sleep in a de-aging liquid, and they might even keep you asleep for decades, so you'll come back home and see your friends as old people. Trust me guys, this show is awesome, and just know, yes, Guy is probably the best character, but once you meet the character Sheen, no, he will eventually arguably the best character too.
許さねえぞ。
Number 8, Demon Slayer. Do I even have to say anything about this anime? The one anime that if it wasn't on the list, people would go crazy. In fact, people are probably going crazy because it isn't higher on the list. But Demon Slayer deals with a boy named Tanjiro who lives in the woods where his entire family gets killed by a demon, with the exception of one sister who gets turned into a demon and almost kills Tanjiro, but then she almost gets killed by a Demon Slayer who happens to send Tanjiro on a journey to be trained to become a Demon Slayer himself. Everyone knows this anime has arguably the best animation of any anime show right now. Its last season being perfect movie quality animation. They know what they're doing over there. If you haven't watched this show and are into anime, well, that's just weird. Just watch it, you won't regret it. 7, Black Clover. An anime kinda new to Netflix, but it's been around for some years now. Step into a world where magic is a way of life and dreams are the ultimate power source in Black Clover. In a land where magical abilities are as common as choosing your favorite ice cream flavor, we follow the determined and boisterous Asta. This character is a character I love. No one can say otherwise. He's a young orphan who has one minor insignificant detail separating him from the rest of the magical society, which is obviously the fact that he has no magic. But don't let that get you down, because what Asta lacks in magic prowess, he obviously makes up for in other ways, like obviously his personality and an unshakable spirit, kind of like Rock Lee from Naruto. Armed with an enthusiastic voice and an unbreakable resolve, Asta embarks on a quest to become the Wizard King, the most prestigious magical title in the Clover Kingdom, which is where he's from. Of course, he's not alone. There are plenty of other characters. My favorite character is Luck. There's Yuno, Asta's childhood best friend and rival, whose magical talent is so over the top exceptional that it will make unicorns blush. These two opposite Asta with his anti-magic sword that can cleave through spells, and Yuno with his breezy nature-defying abilities form an explosive dynamic duo that sends shockwaves through every magical challenge they face, at least together. This is honestly a really good one. Prepare for an exhilarating ride filled with awe-inspiring duels, heart-pounding magical duels, and healthy doses of Asta saying his power is never giving up.
どこだ？見覚えがあるような、ないよ、ここは。
もう迷ったんですか？ん？スカポンタンなの！
誰がスカポンタンだ？
Number 6, One Piece. Every time I don't mention this anime on a list like this, people go wild. It is extremely popular and pretty much the longest running anime right now. There's over 1,000 episodes, and if that turns you off, yeah, it does that to a lot of people, but it is a very good anime and is praised much for its storytelling. There's a lot of story arcs that go into this one, but we follow Luffy, who wants to be king of the pirates, and of course, with that said, he has a crew of other fierce characters, from Zoro, the 3 sword-wielding swordsman, who's really awesome but has no sense of direction, to Nami, the sharp-witted navigator who can predict the storm before the clouds even get the memo, and that's just the start. We're talking about a shipload of characters who make you laugh, cry, and cheer.
Wait! Stop! Stop!
Number 5, Ajin Demi-Human. This show is very awesome, and anyone who watches anime on Netflix definitely should check this out. It deals with people called Ajins, and basically if you are an Ajin, you just can't be killed even if you try to kill yourself. And the only way for you to ever know if you are an Ajin or not is if you end up in a certain circumstance where you clearly should be dead, like being shot in the head or getting hit by a car and having your body completely tore up. But if you are an Ajin and people find out, then be prepared to be hunted down and experimented on very painfully. Not to spoil much, but Ajin can produce a being called a black ghost that emulates their personalities and fights for them, but they also have a range of powers like paralyzing people with a scream and much more. Trust me, this anime is really awesome, and I'm sad to say that it only has 2 seasons. Wish it had more, but it's just so good, and you do get a full story. Check out the anime. At number 4, we have a pretty popular anime on Netflix. It even got its own completely terrible live-action movie for Netflix, and of course, that is Death Note. And if you haven't watched the anime and only watched that piece of garbage, boy, you need to immediately start watching the anime. This anime is arguably one of the greatest anime of all time for any platform. Of course, this anime isn't exclusive to Netflix, however, many used Netflix to be introduced to the show. For those that don't know what Death Note is a show about a boy named Light Yagami, who receives a book called the Death Note and is guided by a Japanese god of death named Ryuk, simply because Ryuk is bored and Light uses this book, which can kill anyone simply by writing their name in the book and picturing their face. For his goal of shaping the world in his image, he does all of this crazy stuff that you'll see once you watch the show. Okay, for number 3, we're going into controversial territory simply for the fact that this anime happens to be one of the most popular in existence, and if something is popular, I don't know, people tend to want it gone. But it's on the list, and that's Naruto, and also because it's popular, people will be mad that others are higher than it on the list, but it's number 3. Yes, Naruto, in my opinion, is one of the greatest anime of all time. It's about a kid who is isolated in his village because he has a 9-tailed beast that lives imprisoned inside him that almost destroyed the village 12 years before. He wants to be the Hokage, which is basically the lord of the village, and for that to happen, he has to become a great ninja. And through awesome action, story, and a bunch of other stuff, we see his journey, and we also see Rock Lee, who my YouTube self is half made in the image of, the other being Todoroki from My Hero Academia. I think my intro told you that much. But this show is one of the greatest of all time. If you haven't seen it, see it.
そんなあの壁は50メートルだぞ。やつだ。
And at number 2, we have one that, come on, many of you guys have to agree with, and that is Attack on Titan. Yeah, I like Attack on Titan more than Naruto, sue me. This anime is just, well, amazing. Most people say masterpiece, but it isn't over yet, so I guess we'll hold off on that word. It will be soon though. A civilization surrounded by multiple walls goes a long time without any attack from giant human-like beings called Titans. But one day they break through the wall of a city and massacre so many and eating them. And honestly, for these shows, I don't really want to say much for the stories because you just have to experience it yourselves. When I first watched this show years ago, I didn't know what it was about and was blown away. So you just watch the show. It's fantastic. Now for number 1, a show that many people mistakenly say is my favorite anime online, and once they find out that it's not, they ask continually what my favorite anime is. But hey, I've answered that question before, so go ahead and find out that answer on this channel. But at number 1 for the best anime on Netflix, which is available in most regions for Netflix, that is Hunter x Hunter. Oh wait, I forgot to say the X. That is Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, this is my second favorite anime of all time and tells the story of two 12-year-old boys named Gon and Killua, who go on a journey to become hunters, which is much more complicated than it sounds. They get powers and all of that, and just don't get stuck on the first episodes thinking this is childish. It gets dark real fast, and man, just amazing and emotional this series is. But there you have it, the top 15 best anime on Netflix right now. Feel free to put down your lists, what you disagree with, what you agree with. what exactly is your favorite anime that are on Netflix right now? Maybe your region is a bit different. You could put down the top best in your region if you feel like it, and I'd be pretty interested to see that. So let me know what you guys think. My name's Konjic, I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next video.